This was retweeted by Glenn Greenwald. I saw it on my timeline, and I burst out laughing because of how ridiculous it is. So you got this guy called Richard Torres, who just got elected to New York's 15th congressional district. And the guy, just watch the video, and then we'll dissect. Just watch this goddamn video, man. Are you ready?
Hello, I'm Richard Torres. I am Afro-Latino, LGBTQ, millennial, progressive, and pro-Israel. And I'm pro-Israel not despite my progressivism, but because of it. You know, the first time I ever traveled outside the United States was when I went to Israel. As a kid, I was too poor to travel abroad. And the most powerful experience was my trip to Jerusalem. It's known to be the holiest city in the world, home to people, the most devout people of Jewish and Christian and Muslim faith. And I was struck that even a city as religious as Jerusalem had an open house, an LGBT open house. And that to me spoke volumes about Israel's commitment to LGBTQ equality and visibility. There is no country in the Middle East more protective of LGBTQ dignity and humanity than the State of Israel. It is truly an oasis of democracy in a region known for brutal authoritarianism. And having been to Israel twice, I can tell you firsthand that I feel at home in Israel, as though it were my own country, because it has values that are recognizably democratic and recognizably pro-LGBTQ. And so I'm proud to be both pro-LGBTQ and pro-Israel, because the two are inextricably bound together as progressive values.
What? This is just absurd. At this point, I don't even know what to think when someone says I'm a progressive. I have no words. I have no words. Now look, man, let me explain this to you very simply. No one is criticizing the Zionist occupation based on their track record of LGBTQ rights. That's not the issue here. The issue is that there's a Zionist occupation and they kill Palestinians. Can we address that? No. Look over here. Look over here. Are you serious? Once again, the issue is really, really not LGBTQ rights in the Zionist occupation. That's kind of not the issue. You're kind of changing the subject here on purpose. And I want to say something to you. This guy, Richie Torres, this is the first thing he did after being elected. Right? So he got in now, 15th Congressional District, New York. This is his first action as a councilman. Wow. He came through. He came through for AIPAC, didn't he? He came through for AIPAC all the way. Now look at you got a whole ass article over here about people giving him their blessing and he's such a vibrant, awesome politician, and he gets it about Israel. And you can take a look over here if you want. He's a true believer in the state of Israel, and he doesn't couch and hedge. That to me is really impressive. He gets Israel. Do you see the issue now when you have progressives talk about foreign policy? I don't know what that means anymore. You know, you have people like Nancy Pelosi using the word progressive, and you're a 10. And I mean, this word has become, I dare say, co-opted. But it's not even that, because even if you go look at the ones that, I'm not talking about the neoliberals like Nancy Pelosi, I'm talking about the ones that are still widely considered to be real progressives, right? Like AOC or Ro Khanna, Bernie Sanders. I mean, even their foreign policy is fucking abysmal. There is none. There's no cohesion. They can't even make up their minds whether they support a peaceful protest like BDS. What the fuck is progressive foreign policy? I don't know what that means. That has no meaning. If it's this shit, wow. I mean, you're indistinguishable from the fucking Republicans or the Democrats. What makes you different? I don't know. Once again, just a complete changing of the subject, right? They don't want to address the fact that Palestinians don't have a state. They've been waiting for a state for 70 years. The human rights violations, killings. I mean, just yesterday, I saw a video of a 50-year-old woman being killed at a checkpoint. She was shot to death. Remember, just a few weeks ago, I was covering Iyad Halaq, how he got killed. A whole video about how they've been killing Palestinian men with disabilities. And that's just one thing. Did you see anyone bring that up? Any progressive, any Democrat? Once again, they can't even make their minds up whether they support BDS or not. In general, as a whole, progressives choose actively to play ball and do exactly what the rest of the Democrats and Republicans are doing, which is support Israel unconditionally. And just like Glenn says underneath, nobody does propaganda like Israel does. Credit where credit is due. It's a sophisticated and highly surgical system. And very much indeed, the Zionists, they are quite spectacular at propaganda, right? They market themselves constantly as the only democracy in the Middle East, and they're all about human rights. And yet here we are one day before the latest massive, enormous land grab by the Zionist occupation. All the violations of human rights, the violations of international law, all of a sudden they don't count. If you can't see through this, I don't even know what to tell you, man. I really don't know what to tell you. Just atrocious. And once again, we go back to this issue of where you have no consensus, you have no cohesion when it comes to foreign policy when talking about progressives. I don't know what that means. And this is why when I hear about a candidate, the first thing I look at is what is their foreign policy. And when I can't find anything, or when I find shit like this, red flag, bye-bye. Okay, you're just going to go and shill for AIPAC. You're just going to go and shill for the military-industrial complex. Yeah, big fucking deal. You're no different from the rest of them, man. You support Medicare for all? Big fucking deal. What, that makes you less of an oppressor? No, it doesn't.